a 5-point bustle on this dress for Kaylee. We are going to have 5 ribbon loops that we're going to pull out of the train of the skirt, and we're actually going to have 5 sets of ribbon strings we're going to pull out of the waistband of this dress. So we're actually going to go ahead and pull out all the loops first. The wedding day, which is this weekend, you're going to go ahead and start by finding that center one. When we lift up this train, you're going to see this little string here. This is not part of the bustle. It is part of the hanger. So when the bride is not wearing the dress, this hangs the train on the hook. So ignore that, but we're going to keep going up until we find this little ribbon, and it has a button on it. All of my bustle points have button backers on them so that they don't rip out of the dress here. So I'm going to go ahead and hold onto that, come to the top of the fabric, and then underneath this button, from behind I can feel where that ribbon's coming through, but so you'll be able to see it. It's a little hard in the video, but that little button peeks through, or ribbon peeks through. So I'm going to pull it out. Now we have a loop, okay? So there's one down the center, and then there are going to be 2 more of these on the sides, but the ones on the sides are just on the outer 2 layers of tulle. Give me just a second, I'm going to close the door really fast. Okay.
Keep rolling?
Yes, keep going. Okay, so we have that. Again, these side points are going to be on the outer layers of tulle. If you lift up this, you might be able to see that ribbon hanging. There's going to be one here and then one higher up. If you feel like you can't find it, you can always lift up that layer of sparkle tulle here. It is glittery, and when you look under there, again, there's that point, and there's going to be a second one here over to the side. So we have both of those, and again, we're just going to lift those out the same way. Go to the top, grab the ribbon, gently pull it out. All right, now again, you can do this. You're going to do the same thing on the other side because I know where they are and I can kind of see them. I'm not going to go under, but by all means, if you get lost, look underneath. These far side ones are actually pretty close to the top. They're about 12 inches down, just so you have some reference point there. All right, so we have all 5 ribbon loops sticking out of the dress. We're going to go ahead and start. Next, we're going to pull out all those strings. So following the zipper down, about right here is where that button is, where the waistband and the bodice are meeting. And on each side of that, there's a little ribbon knot. I don't know if you see that. It is really small and it kind of blends in well, but it is a ribbon knot. And it is, again, one's on each side of the zipper tape. Those are just going to pull right on out. This other one's on the opposite side here. Okay, I can grab that and pull that one out. So now we have 1 set of strings. There are going to be 2 more on each side. So if you go over about 3 inches, here following that seam line, there's those 2 little ribbon knots. We're going to grab a hold of those. And then another 3-ish inches over, there's another set of knots that we'll go ahead and grab and pull out. These are mirrored on the opposite side here. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab those. There's that set and that set. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of strings. So I usually like to work from the side and go over. So I'll go ahead and start here with the farthest to the right. So this farthest to the right is going to go to the higher one of these points. It's also the farthest to the right. So we're going to go ahead and grab a hold of that. Take one of these strings, put it through the loop, and pull this loop all the way up. We don't want to have this drooping down. We want that loop up as high as it can go. And then on the wedding day, you can tie that into a knot or just into a bow. You do want to make sure, again, that this does not droop down. It is pretty lightweight, so it should come all the way up pretty easily. But if you have a hard time, grab a second set of hands and they can hold it up while you tie. So I'm just going to do these into a bow really fast. We're going to leave those ribbons there for just a moment. So next, we're going to go with this next set of strings. That is going to be the other loop here on the side. And just like the other, we're going to go ahead and loop that up. One through, all the way up. If you have two people, one person can take care of one side while the other person takes care of the other side. Goes a little faster, but no worries if it's just one person. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing here on the opposite side. Going to the farthest to the left, getting the small loop on the left. Just more of the same. A lot of this is just repetition here, getting everything correct. So once you know what you're looking for, it's not crazy, but if you don't know what you're looking for, these just hide in perfectly and you'll never find them. Okay, next set of ribbons here. The other one is there on this seam, just like on the opposite side. Apologize, our light is not as bright as it is during the day. But there we go. Okay, so this last one, again, it is the one that goes in the very center here. With that, my loop disappeared back in, so you can, again, go underneath, but I know that it dips in right there. So I know right where that loop is going to be, so I'm just going to pull it back out. So now this one I tend to like stick in my knee under to help hold some of that weight as I'm tying this up. But just like the others, take one of the loops, put it through. If what you'd like to do on this side, because it is on either side of that zipper, you can take the other one and go through the opposite direction on the loop. It just kind of helps you keep everything centered up here. So again, we're just going to tie this into a bow. This center one, if you're tying anything in knots, I usually suggest this center one that we just tie into a bow so you can undo it. Because to get the bride out of the dress, you're either going to need to clip this or undo that ribbon. All right, so we have all of these points in here. What we're going to do next is take care of these ribbons so they're not sticking out. So the bride is going to have this cute little pink organza bag hanging out. It has a crochet hook. So I'm going to have Ollie come over here so we can kind of zoom in. But what we're going to do with each set of these, I'm only going to practice on one, but you'll do this with each one. You're going to take the ribbons and kind of twist them up like this. Take the crochet hook. We're going to go from behind through the loop, grab the ribbons, and pull them backwards. That way, instead of hanging out in front, those ribbons just disappear. So all of those will just be behind. So lastly, as she's dancing and moving, this bustle will really do whatever it wants. But if you're getting a picture, you're going to come back through and fluff that so that the buttons are coming out and just retuck down any of those other pieces. And there's her 5-point bustle.